right, so now we're going to be talking about shifts in demand, or factors that affect demand. And I'm going to call them demand shifters. And a demand shifter looks something like this. Again, I think the best way to learn economics is by looking at the graphs first. So a demand shift is going to look something like this. So we call that D1, and then we call this D2. And we would probably have a same sized arrow for the second one. It should be parallel. They're not quite parallel. They should be. The slope shouldn't change. I'm just a terrible artist. So this is a shift in demand. Not to be confused with a movement along demand, right? A movement along demand is come on. You're not going to help me out? Okay. Fine then. Should have just drawn it myself. Price, quantity, demand. A movement along demand is something like this. Where we go from that $7.50 slice of pizza price to that more reasonable $4. So that's a movement along demand, also known as a change in quantity demanded. And it may seem like I'm being like a real stickler here in terms of like the language and making sure to define all these things and talk about the distinctions, but I'm trying to save you all from some very, very common missteps that I've seen students make over the last decade of teaching. So that's why I'm trying to really drill these concepts in, because even though they seem like, oh, I'll never make that mistake, it's very, very common. So I just want to kind of, while we're getting this foundation here, just emphasize that we have two different types of demand changes, right? And again, I cringe saying that because in my head I'm like, no, there's one type of demand shift and there's one type of quantity demanded shift, right? Or quantity demanded movement. So there's a change in demand which is where the whole demand curve shifts, compared to a change in the quantity demanded, which is just a movement along the demand curve. Okay, cool. Board looks. That's good. That's good. That means we're getting it. It's not fascinating stuff. I'm aware. All right. So what in the world actually causes demand to change? Great question. Let's talk about that. So the demand shifters that we have 5 main ones that we're going to be talking about in this class. So the first one that we have is going to be our factors of production. Oh, sorry, that's wrong. Okay, our first one, I jumped to supply automatically. My first one is going to be income. My first one is income, right? So this is the notion that as you make more money, you buy more things. And I'm going to put an asterisk there, and we're going to explore that asterisk in a second here. So as you individually do that, right, through methodological individualism, we just kind of take all those individual actions and we just sum them up. Then as a result, society writ large does it, right? As society writ large makes more money, they buy more things. Therefore, demand is going to shift. At any given price, there's going to be more things that are demanded and consumed, right? Now, I put an asterisk here. Why did I put an asterisk here? Has anybody read ahead? Why did I put an asterisk here? When we talk about income and we talk about goods, we have to classify what type of good is it? What type of good is it?
Like an asset? Is that what you're talking about?
No, but I like the guess. Thank you for trying. Thank you for trying.
Non-essentials?
You're getting closer. You're getting closer. So it's somewhat like non-essentials, but I'll just define it. So we have two main types of goods when we talk about income and demand and stuff like that. The first one is the type of good that we're used to every day, and that's why we call them our normal goods. These are just normal, everyday. This is going to be our, video games, eating out, dining out and stuff like that, right? Traveling, housing, cars, gas, cell phones, right? All that stuff, all that normal stuff, that's the reason why we work, right? Is to buy these things that bring us pleasure, right? Netflix, Hulu, PlayStation Network, all that other kind of stuff, right? But there's another type of good that we have to define within the context of how you respond to a change in your income. So I know a lot of you are, first year, maybe second year out of the house, right? So, figuring out, and I mean, we have the meal plan on campus, which is great. Although I think they're still trying to figure it out with the new management. So I wish you all the best of luck there. But also part of, you're probably all going to be starting to eat a lot of like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, right? Or, box mac and cheese or stuff like that, right? Those goods that we eat more of when we decrease our income, right? And I mean, technically you decreased your income because you were in a family before, right? And like your parents' income was pretty much your income, so you're eating out of the same kitchen. And now you don't have as much money or stuff as you did before, right? And so when we're talking about goods that you may eat more of now that you have less money, these are called inferior goods, right? These are goods like Top Ramen, right? Ramen noodles, not the fancy kind that you get at a store, but I'm talking about the like orange packets that you get that are like 10 cents each, right? So ramen, peanut butter and jelly, Spam, store brand toilet paper. Nothing I hate worse than terrible toilet paper. Store brand, just like anything, right? Just like as your income decreases, you increase your purchasing of store brand things. Bus passes is another one. As your income decreases, you are going to demand more bus passes if you're in a city or someplace like that. As your income increases, you may end up being able to buy a car. So your demand for bus passes decreases significantly. So not all goods are created equal. Some we respond to by purchasing more when we get more money. Some we respond to by purchasing less. Questions on normal versus inferior goods? So real quick, just so we have some graphs here. So let's say the good is pizza, and and let's say that the income increases, that's going to shift my demand for pizza to the right. An inferior good. Can somebody think of another inferior good that I didn't mention here? Frozen meals. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. frozen burritos. Yeah, those chimmy. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. So frozen chimichangas. I don't know how to spell that. Chimichangas, whatever. So this one, right? If our income increases, we're going to have a shift to the left, or a shift inwards of demand. And so real quick, while we have these easy examples, let's think about what does it mean for it to shift outwards or to shift inwards, right? Well, to shift outwards means that at any given price, right, I'm going to hold my price the same. I'm going to say if the price doesn't change, if this is the price, if the price is equal to $4, my income increases, therefore my quantity demanded increases. That makes sense, right? Because pizza is a normal good. Let's say that the price of the frozen chimichanga stays at, I don't know, I think they're $1 or something like that, right? And let's say that, all of our incomes increase. Well, given that the price is staying at $1, the quantity demanded is going to go down from where it was before because it's an inferior good. So an inferior good has a decrease in demand as a result of a positive income shift. A normal good has an increase in demand as a result of a positive income shift. Questions about income? It's a little bit of a special guy. We've got another special guy coming up here. And then the rest should be easy, except for the last one, but I'm foreshadowing too much. Questions on income? All right.